Welcome to NFL Nexus, the place where we break down all the biggest stories shaping the league. The Cleveland Browns are, well, they're standing at a crossroads. After a 2025 season that had so much promise but delivered, let's be honest, so little, this franchise is staring down a truly monumental 2026 offseason. And we're not just talking about adding a few new players here and there. Nope. We're talking about two colossal franchise-altering decisions. One of them is at the most important position in all of sports, and the other is going to define their entire coaching philosophy for years to come. So today, we are digging deep into this pivotal moment, a true turning point that is absolutely going to shape the future of football in Cleveland. So here's how we're going to break it all down. First, we're going to set the stage and look at the crossroads the Browns are actually at, so you understand the stakes. Then, we'll dive right into the quarterback drama that is already brewing, a classic Cleveland offseason story. From there, we'll weigh the pros and cons of this huge gamble with free agent Malik Willis. After that, we're going to shift gears from the players on the field to the guys on the sidelines and break down the complete overhaul of the coaching staff. And finally, we'll look at the seasoned veteran they brought in to hopefully steer this very new ship in the right direction. All right, let's get into it. Part 1, Cleveland's 2026 crossroads. The 2025 season was just so frustrating, wasn't it? A roller coaster of unfulfilled potential that left the Browns right here, at this critical turning point. The choices they make over the next few months, they're not just going to affect next season's win-loss record. No, these could define the next decade of Cleveland football, for better or for much, much worse. This is a real moment of truth. What's so wild is how this slide just perfectly lays out the two massive problems facing the Browns. On one side, you had this offense that was just lackluster. It consistently held back what was, by a lot of measures, a championship-level defense. The defense would get a turnover, give the offense a amazing field position, only to watch them go 3 and out. It was maddening. They went through this dizzying carousel of quarterbacks, right? They brought in the veteran Joe Flacco. They tried to see what they had with rookies Shadir Sanders and Dylan Gabriel, but nobody could light that spark. It was like having a Ferrari with a go-kart engine. All that defensive horsepower was just being wasted. And then, on the other side, you've got a complete coaching overhaul. This isn't just 1 or 2 new faces. This is a total reset on the sidelines. And that combination, inconsistency on the field at QB and total uncertainty off the field with the coaching staff, that is a recipe for disaster if you don't handle it just right. And that, of course, leads us right to the heart of the whole thing. Part 2, the quarterback question. In true Browns fashion, the offseason is already just buzzing with quarterback drama. I mean, it wouldn't be February in Cleveland without it, right? But this time, it's different. A massive, big-name free agent has thrown a gigantic wrench into their plans, and it has just ignited an absolute firestorm of speculation. And here it is. This tweet right here from the incredibly well-connected Browns insider Mary Kay Cabot is what got the whole thing started. Now look, Ty Simpson, he's an interesting project for down the road. But the bombshell, the name that makes everyone just sit up and pay attention, is Malik Willis. When a name like that gets floated by a source like Mary Kay Cabot, you have to understand it's more than just a rumor. It's a signal. It's a calculated leak from the front office telling everybody they are not satisfied. They're not just looking for a Band-Aid at quarterback. They are hunting for a true game-breaking talent, and they are clearly willing to shake up the entire building to go get him. So for anyone who might not be familiar with Malik Willis, he spent last season in Green Bay, backing up Jordan Love. But when Love got hurt, Willis was thrust into the spotlight for a short but incredibly memorable stretch. And in that little audition, wow, he was absolutely electric. Just look at these numbers. An 85.7% completion percentage. That's not just good, that's surgical. I mean, for context, the NFL's single-season record is around 74%. So yeah, it's a small sample size, but it shows a guy who was seeing the field with insane clarity. He showed off that cannon of an arm with 3 passing touchdowns, and then that game-changing athleticism with 2 more on the ground. This is what the modern NFL quarterback looks like. A true dual threat who can beat you from the pocket or just break your defense's back with his legs. It's a small, but man, an incredibly tantalizing glimpse of what he could bring to a Browns offense that was just so predictable last year. And that leads us right to the core of this entire debate. Part 3, weighing the Willis gamble. Because look, this is not just about signing a new player. This is a franchise-defining bet. This is ownership pushing all their chips into the middle of the table. It is a high-wire act without a safety net that could either lead to a Super Bowl parade down Euclid Avenue, or it could be a catastrophic failure that sets the whole franchise back 5 years. The stakes could not possibly be higher. So let's really break this down, because you've got to see it from both sides. The argument for signing Willis is just so tempting. He brings a raw, athletic dynamism that the Browns haven't had at QB in Forever, maybe. His elite deep ball would finally unlock their talented receivers, force defenses to respect the whole field for once. His scrambling ability adds a whole new dimension you just can't coach. It's a clear win-now move. But the arguments against signing him are just as serious. As we're about to see, the price tag is enormous for a guy with such a limited track record. And do you really give up on a promising young QB like Shader Sanders this soon? And you absolutely cannot ignore that Willis was a third-round pick for a reason. The whole league had questions about him, and those questions haven't really been answered yet. And here it is, the number that just hangs over this entire conversation. $50 million. That's the projected annual salary for Malik Willis. Let that sink in for a second. $50 million a year. That's top-tier, MVP candidate, proven Super Bowl winner money for a player who's barely scratched the surface. A contract that big doesn't just buy you a quarterback, it handcuffs your entire front office. $50 million is over 20% of your salary cap. That's money you can't use to sign an elite pass rusher to pair with Myles Garrett, a shutdown corner, or a Pro Bowl left tackle. It is an all-in, bet-the-farm move. It's the very definition of a high-risk investment. Okay, so you'd think if you're about to make a $50 million investment in one player, you'd want a stable, proven environment around him, right? Well, that's what makes the Browns' other major decisions so fascinating. Let's shift our focus from the field to the sidelines, because there's another equally risky revolution happening there. Welcome to part 4, a brand new staff. Just when you thought the quarterback situation was complicated enough, the Browns decided to wipe the entire coaching slate clean, adding a whole new layer of risk to this whole thing. So here they are, the new architects of the Cleveland Browns. Todd Monken is your new head coach. Travis Switzer is running the offense, Mike Rutenberg is leading the defense, and Byron Storr is on special teams. Now, here is the kicker. The stat that is just mind-boggling. They have a combined 0, that's a 0, years of NFL experience in their current roles. That's not a typo. The 4 most important coaching jobs on the team are being filled by rookies. So why would a team do this? It's a huge gamble. The pressure of making a fourth down call, the weekly grind, it's all new to them. But there is an upside. It's a desire for fresh ideas. It brings a new perspective, a hunger to prove themselves, and a total break from the past. The front office is betting big on raw potential over proven and maybe stale experience. So with all this youth, all this inexperience on the sidelines, how do you make sure the coaching staff doesn't just implode under the insane pressure of the NFL? How do you create a safety net for this massive gamble? Well, the Browns solution is actually kind of brilliant. And that brings us to our last section, part 5, Enter the Veteran Guru. To balance out all that risk, they've brought in a living legend, a coaching icon, to provide the wisdom and stability this young staff desperately needs. And here he is. Meet Dom Capers, the 75-year-old coaching genius who's taking on the new role of senior defensive assistant. Now, his job isn't to be on the sidelines on game day drawing up blitzes. No. His role is to be the voice of reason behind the scenes, the steady hand during the inevitable storms of an NFL season. With a staff full of guys making these huge decisions for the very first time, Capers is the institutional knowledge. He is the walking, talking encyclopedia of football who has seen it all and can be the ultimate sounding board for these young coaches. And just look at this timeline. It's a testament to his incredible longevity and success. His NFL career started back in 1986. I mean, think about that. Most of the players on the team weren't even born yet. But more importantly, look at the kind of experience he has. In 1995, he was the first ever head coach for the expansion Carolina Panthers. In 2002, he did it again with the expansion Houston Texans. He knows what it's like to build a team and a culture from scratch, which is invaluable for this new Brown staff. And of course, he's a Super Bowl champion, winning it all as the defensive coordinator for the Packers in 2011. This isn't just experience, it's a championship pedigree. It's exactly the kind of foundation they need. So what's Capers actually going to be doing day to day? Well, it's really 3 things. First, and this is the big one, he's a mentor. He's there to guide head coach Todd Monken and the coordinators through all the stuff they don't teach you, like managing egos, dealing with the media, handling a losing streak. Second, he's a strategist, a fresh, incredibly experienced set of eyes on their game plans who can spot things a younger coach might miss. And third, and this is maybe the most exciting part for Browns fans, he's a player development guru. Capers has a legendary history of coaching elite pass rushers and turning them into legends. So just imagine for a second what his wisdom can do for a generational talent who is already a superstar like Myles Garrett. The potential there is just astronomical. And so here we are, right back at that crossroads where we started. The Cleveland Browns are making two of the boldest gambles in the entire league. One is on a dynamic, wildly talented, but unproven quarterback with a $50 million price tag. The other is on a completely brand new, innovative coaching staff, steadied by one of the most seasoned veterans in the game. So the question is this unique mix of high-risk talent on the field and old-school wisdom on the sidelines the magic formula that will finally bring a championship to Cleveland? Or is it a recipe for another spectacular heartbreak? Only time will tell. Let us know what you think in the comments below. Should they sign Willis? Is the new coaching staff a smart move? We really want to hear from you. And hey, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to NFL Nexus for more deep dives. Also, a quick note. You can help support the channel by checking out our brand new coloring books. They're perfect for kids, grandkids, or even for yourself. You can find the link in the description or just scan the QR code on your screen now. Thanks so much for watching.